Ooh, from the deep tundra. Peter, good morning. I have to know where you're at.
Oh, I'm sitting on my dock.
You're sitting on your dock?
Yeah,
Come on.
it's
Show
still
us
frozen, so it doesn't move. But I mean, that's ice.
where are you? What lake?
This is Blendy Pond in Brookline, New Hampshire.
That's it.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh, thank you, honey. Look at look at where you are. Look at around you. Oh my God. Tell us about what it's like living there.
yeah, it's awesome. And it's ever changing. All four seasons are pretty awesome.
Oh, I
We're
love
we're excited about the warm weather, so we can see the ground again and see the water again.
it. That's beautiful, man. That's
Yeah, it's a good spot.
excellent. Oh, yeah. Can you show us? Can you turn it around too? Let's see the whole thing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me figure out where that button is. There we go. All right, that's our spot, one of them, and this is our other one. And then, so here's the. I grew up with these guys right here with the rope swing. So we're right across the water from them. That's pretty fun. And then two of our friends bought these ones. So
Oh my God. So it's a whole compound now.
it is,
Wow.
yeah. It's pretty fun.
Peter, that's fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
nobody's here in the winter, but come April, May, everyone will start coming back.
Yep. Well, it's this is the peaceful time, right?
Yeah, that's when we get, creative tasks done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How far are you from Field and Stream?
15 minutes maybe.
15 minutes. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, that's why I reached out. I was like, oh, this is my backyard. I wonder.
Yeah, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Peter reached out. Is that how we met, Peter? How did we meet?
It is, yeah.
It was just a cold reach out from trying to buy the RV park, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just I was wondering who owned it. I know it's an older one, but I saw that you bought it a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's still within his, wheelhouse of what he's doing, and at least ask the question.
Love that. I love
Because
that.
we traveled for 5 years in the RV, so it's right in our our passion zone.
Yeah.
And then we're
Yeah,
invested here
totally.
in Brookline, so it makes sense.
It did make sense, but I love that. I mean, you resonated with this message, and now you're
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
here. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
saw some of your socials, kind of saw the season of life you were in. I was like, yeah, no, I understand that. Like we're all on a journey. I'm on the journey as well. So
Yeah, we're all on the journey. It's funny because I'd say probably 90% of the people who watch this or participate in this are real estate people, but
yeah,
there's a big, big not big. I'd say there's probably 25 to 30% of my audience bailed when I wasn't teaching them how to make money anymore. It's like, oh, come on, monkey boy, show me another strategy in real estate.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, yeah, it is what it is. Folks, for those of you joining us, good morning, good morning. It's 9:04. Let's start as we usually do in the chat. Type something that gave you love, gratitude, joy, appreciation. What was a win that you had over the past week or weekend? We're going to start raising our vibrations just by putting it into the universe and sharing it into the chat. If you'd like to come in and do a little check-in and a share, we'll do that this morning. We'll go into, as normal, some alignment questions. We'll go into hearing from other people in the community, and then we'll go into a share, and then we'll go into a close. So anybody who wants to jump in, just turn your camera on. We'd love that. Tim Lewandowski is in the chat, in on the video. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, man?
How are you? I heard you had a super successful event.
I
Yes, I saw
did
the
have a super
pictures.
successful event. That's definitely something that gave me joy, and I was really appreciative to Christina and Michelle and Alexa for driving all the way down there and seeing what it was all about.
That's amazing. What are the biggest takeaways you can share with us?
I mean, the biggest takeaway is just being curious about what's happening in your story and realizing that just because it feels like the same thing, you've been in the same rut. You've got a lot of life ahead of you. There's a lot of things that are going to happen that you're never going to expect. And just being curious about what those things, what's going to happen. Um, well, it makes life a lot more interesting.
I love this, Tim. Every single moment right, is a chance to shift everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I see Christina's here, Michelle is here. Anything you ladies would like to share about that, or just in general, the weekend gratitude, love, appreciation?
Well, first of all, Tim's event was awesome. I didn't have any preconceived notions of what it would be or what it was. So just the whole discovery process and his whole process of walking us through it was amazing. And then I got the Mystic card, so I was like, "Oh, what is the Mystic?" You know what I mean? Like, and we were paired in groups of like 3 or 4, and it was just wonderful to like meet people that you didn't know, to hear their objective, intuitive interpretations of your card and how it also fit them. And it was a wonderful discussion. I loved it.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tim, will you be doing more of those in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is April 10th.
April 10th. Got it. Excellent. Oh, this might work out well. April 11th, we're going to have a manifestation for financial abundance
Oh,
session in North Andover. So that'll be perfect. Maybe we'll just tail it all together. That'll be perfect. Oh, beautiful. Excellent, all. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. Again, for those of you just joining us, type into the chat something that gave you love, joy, appreciation, gratitude over the past week or weekend. I wanted to do a little bit of contrast work today because a lot of that is where a lot of the really heavy and deep work come in. Contrast work being, is anyone experiencing something that is confusing, or maybe it's something that they don't prefer in their life? And if so, we would love to, bringing that to the group, right? A pain shared is a pain divided. And it would be kind of good to kind of highlight or feel into that a little bit. If anybody has anything that they would like to share, I know it's a little vulnerable, but this is where all the really deep work comes in, at least that I've done in my world, in my life. And if anyone, you can type into the chat. I'll share something that happened to me this weekend. I took my boys on a hike at Ware Hill. A lot of you guys have been there, right down the street. It's on our lake in town. And there were ice fishermen there, which I found interesting because about 8 feet in or 10 feet in from the shore, there was just water. It had been melting considerably right over the past week. And I saw all these ice fishermen there. So clearly they knew something I didn't, right? And they also somehow were able to get onto the ice in a way that I didn't understand how without getting their clothes very wet. But they come over and they start making conversation with us on the shore. And they said, oh, yep, down in the middle, it's about still 10, 12 inches, right in the middle of the lake. And we're getting lots of fish today. And it's a great day for it. Not a lot of people out here. And so my kids were listening to all this. And as they listened, we're heading back to the car. And my oldest decided that he was going to find a way to bridge the shoreline where we were at to get onto the ice cap that was in the middle of the lake. And I thought this was kind of a cute little fool's errand, right? Like there's no chance. It's like 10, 12 feet out from the shore. And obviously we're all dressed in, they don't even have boots on, right? So they have like sneakers and they've got their, winter coats on. And like, so I give them 15 minutes. He and his little brother start finding these logs and they start trying to lean them up and then they sink. And then there's like another rock they'll put out there and then that sinks. And they start throwing things into the lake like it's just fun. And then all of a sudden, my oldest sees a gigantic log that's under the water. And he goes and starts to fish it out. He gets really, really, really cold hands. And in the process, right, he pulls this thing out. I'm watching the whole thing happen. He pulls this thing out and he's able to then push it. And after 3 tries, pushes it and bridges the 10-foot gap. This is all getting to a point, right? He bridges this 10-foot gap from the shore to the ice cap. And Dad starts getting a little scared because I was not understanding of the capabilities of these little brains and these bodies. So he puts this big log over and I'm like, no worries. They still can't. There's no chance. that he can get across because this log's like this. He's like pretending to balance and he's falling off before he gets in the water. And it's funny because I had just seen a documentary, right, about like allowing safe dangers for your children. Like there's one dad, I think in Canada, that allows his kids to walk on thin ice, but he has like this life preserver with a rope just in case. And he like encourages them to like fall in and get super cold, and he just throws that out there, right? I didn't have any of that. And I'm watching my kids now, all of a sudden, we have a possibility of getting to this ice cap in the middle of this lake. And so the oldest, it's pushed over. He can't walk across. And then he realizes that if he gets two other sticks in his hands, he can stilt his way across this tiny little log, like this thin little log that's slippery and it's been covered in like algae and mold. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And like, what can I do except stand there? And like, I start yelling, like, not a good idea, guys. Don't do it. Not a good idea. Come on, guys. I can't, I'm not following you. I can't follow you. I've got the dog. I've got this. I got that. And my oldest yells back. He's like, Dad, I got this. I'm like, I don't think you do, Cole. I don't think you have this at all. I don't think you understand. Like, I'm not even worried about the cold plunge. I'm worried about, you and all the things that spewed out of my face in that moment. All of these catastrophizing, fear-based stuff, right? Like, you're going to fall under. You're not going to be able to pop your head back up. You're going to blah, 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 hypothermia, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't save you. All the things that I said that were completely rooted in all this fear. And my oldest looked back at me and he's like, Dad, remember when you told me about those moments that you'd have when maybe you would do something like this? And I was like, yeah. He's like, this is not one of those moments. Like, relax. Like, I can do this. He's 10. And, it was a huge moment. So then not only did my oldest, who's somewhat brave, go across, he then had his 8-year-old little brother who refuses to do anything, refuses to try anything, barely eats a slice of pizza because he has too many preferences for all these foods. The little brother's like, well, he did it. I'm going to do it. I'm like, what is happening here? What is happening in my world? So the little guy who could barely swim starts to go. And by the way, this water is super deep. Like even 8 feet in, we're about like 12, 15 feet down. Like it's a lake. It's super deep. So then my youngest sees him, finds 2 sticks of his own, and starts making his way across this tiny little algae-filled slippery log onto this ice cap in the middle of the lake. And once again, I'm just like, guys, I can't save you. Guys, you're in a place that I can't get to right now. Like, I love you. And they're like, Dad, we got this. And then Cole immediately gets to the other side. And instead of being careful, starts, running around this ice cap, like, running 15 feet that way and 20 feet this way and 20 feet this way. And that was the one moment I also screamed. And I was just like, guys, can you please at least look for the holes where the ice fishing are? Please, please, please. And I'm like, every piece of my body was screaming in fear. And all I could do was watch. And then they kept saying, Dad, go. We'll meet you at the car. Dad, go. We'll go to the other side. We'll meet you at the car. And I don't know if I'm a bad parent, everybody. I have no idea. I've been judging myself now for 2 days. I have no idea if I was supposed to let that happen or not. But I will share that it was one of the most profound lessons that I've ever had. And it's a moment where I'm happy that I told my sons at one point in my life that I was an imperfect father, that I didn't know what I was doing most of the time, and that they would understand someday, and that I might get things wrong once in a while. And I'm really, of course, I get back to the car. Not only did they have their own adventure walking all over the lake and crossing the lake and then coming out of and being totally safe and doing so, but they then decided to beat me back to the car, which was a half mile in the other direction. And they were there when I got there, and they liked to surprise me from the trunk and tell me about all of their adventures together as brothers. And which, of course, most of the people know they don't get along ever. This is one of the moments where they did. And it was a beautiful lesson for me in fear-based fatherhood. And where else in my life, right? Like, where else in my life is my brain still catastrophizing? Is my brain still going to the worst case scenarios? And how is that hurting myself or other people around me or my family or the people that I care about? Right? What limitations am I putting on myself and on them because of this, because of the computer, because of the master programs that we have in our brains and the stuff that, my parents wouldn't have told me anything about that, Lake. My parents probably wouldn't even been there. Right? Latchkey kids. Anybody else? Type that in the chat. Latchkey kid, right? Like I was chased into a pond by 3 rogue angry geese once. I was 5. And those darn geese, man, I still have a vendetta against them. For those of you who know, I managed to hunt one and eat one a couple years ago. But like, you know what I mean? Like this is the world that we live in. So what fear-based stories and beliefs and programs do I still hold? And maybe do you all still hold, right? Where we're keeping our friends or our loved ones on a limb and we're not allowing them. Right? We're not giving them or empowering them to feel into when they know is something that's good for them. But feel free to go in a parenting judging. That's totally okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Michelle, you get it now. You're a mom.
I do, yeah. That's why I was like chuckling, going, wow, that must have been horrifying to watch, but it was obviously some kind of a spiritual necessary lesson for you. And, obviously it turned out all right. But yeah, you must have been biting your fingernails. I can only imagine.
Yes. Biting nails was one of the many things I was doing. My brain, my brain was really good at catastrophizing the stories and the video in my head.
Yes.
While I was driving to the car. Oh yeah.
And of course, I can't imagine what that's like at all. I would never do something like that, like catastrophize.
Oh, I know. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Brian Lucier, you have jumped on in the interim of my story. Good morning, my friend. How's the move going? Tell me about your week and weekend. If you can find your microphone. And it's okay. He's going on a rant and a rave, and it's great. We can't hear him swear. We can't hear him do all the things that he's doing right now. All right,
if I click that little red button, you can hear me, huh?
There we go. Good morning, my friend.
Oh, God. Yeah, finished unpacking the last of 7 boxes, organized everything. It's home now. Got the last of the stuff into the studio garage, got that organized. So I think I'm ready to carry on with life without having to walk over a slippery algae branch in fear of falling through ice and dying. Honestly, Nick, I heard you say ice and it was like, okay, I don't want to listen to this.
Brian ran so far away from the ice. Good work, sir. Good work.
The only ice I experienced this weekend was in the Brown Lady during happy hour at the beach.
Brown Lady. Noted. I don't know if I would go to a bar named the Brown Lady. Oh, wait. Okay. That came out wrong. I meant I feel like dirty. The brown bar is like a bad word.
In the United States, they're called mudslides.
Oh, okay. Oh, I very much like those. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, mudslides with the whipped cream and the chocolate and the cherry on top.
Oh, nice.
So I did something kind of fun. As the barmaid was mixing the drink, I noticed her nails, and the women on the island do a great job with their nails. And I said, wow, your nails are fabulous. We're just coming off of festival, so it was like Price is Right costume, right? So she was like, with the alcohol, say, oh, that's very nice of you to say that. That's great. That's great. It's like, I had never had a brown lady kick my butt so hard.
Joys of life, though, Brian. Joys of life. It's okay.
Yeah, I needed it. With all the move and the duplicity of life, work, moving, and everything else, it was nice to just unplug and not see a computer for a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Excellent. So settling in. The only constant in all of our lives is drastic change, right?
Plus ça change, plus c'est le même change.
I heard fish and change. No, just kidding.
No, plus ça change, plus c'est le même change. The more things
Please.
change, the more they stay the same.
I like that. Yes. Yes. We all are shifting and changing. I think a lot of you might have seen what we pushed out before, right? Every single 7 years, our entire bodies are completely regenerated. All the cells in our body, all the organs, all the tissues, all the blood cells, and our brain cells, all of the things, completely brand new. So if that's the case, we then get to choose in our minds new thoughts, new patterns, new habits, new ideologies, the brain though keeps right the 80,000 thoughts in a day and 78,000 are the same as yesterday. That's the part that's just trying to keep us in that place of status quo, in that place of safety, in that place of, I know what this is, I'm good here, I'm comfortable. And yet everything around us, the universe, our higher selves, and our manifestation desires, everything is pushing us to that next level, to get to that next level, to embrace the change, to see all the things that are there for us, even when it feels very stressful in the moment, like a move, like shifting a career, shifting a pivoting, embracing a career for 20 years and then just realizing and hearing the voice saying, you need to do this now, and leaving without any safety net. That was this guy right here, right? Like, or having a child. I'm not ready to have a child. I'm not ready to have a child. I'm not ready to have a child. Well, when's the best time to have a kid? Are you going to be ready? Is anybody going to be ready to have a kid? Embracing a new relationship. But the scary part is, right? Maybe we have to break off a different relationship. It's either with somebody else or it's a relationship that we have with ourselves to embrace the possible love, the possible expansion, the possible connection that we could have with another human being. But in order to do that, we have to let go of the branch. And the letting go of the branch sometimes is the hardest thing we can possibly do. Yeah. So I salute all of you who are undergoing massive shifts, changes. We're approaching a really, really, really cool day for those of you into astrology. On Friday night, there will be a full lunar eclipse that is visible, I think, for most of us, which is going to be really, really, really cool. And at the same time, yeah, actually, I was hoping you turn your video back on, Tim, because you might know more about this than I do. I'm also very aware that Mercury is going into retrograde again, which signifies for a lot of us, right? The easy part is saying tech issues, but we're going to pass that over and say more massive shifts are waiting for us, more massive changes, more massive dips or pivots. And many of them might be something that your higher selves and intuition has been telling you for a long time or for a short time that this is going to happen, this is possible. But many might be coming as a surprise. And the beautiful part is we still get to choose which of these we embrace or which of these we're still pushing and resisting and struggling against, right? And how can we let go of that control, let go of that resistance, let go of that struggle, and just allow what's coming through to come through, allow the messages, allow the pivots and the changes and the shifts. Yeah. Tim, do you have anything to add for what's coming this month here?
I don't actually have any special. I mean, I am planning to get up at, whatever o'clock in the morning and go out and see the eclipse, assuming the weather cooperates. But yeah, it's, and one of the things that I've been feeling is that, it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel negative. Like that's part of life. But the important thing is what you said, Nick, is just using that to continue to ride the waves of life, and things are going to change, and being able to move through that with ease and and curiosity.
Mm. Curiosity. That's the key to everything, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful, Tim. A reminder to all, right? Like, you are not the thoughts. You're just watching this beautiful movie unfold. You get to choose your own adventure in the movie, right? But you're not the emotions, you're not the thoughts, you're not any of it. You can get to experience that which you choose. But we get to, like, this is just a big movie.
Can we fast forward through the commercials?
No, commercials are great. It's like Super Bowl. It's a good one, Brian. I like that. Embracing the fear. That's what, and I would like to spend some time next week, Tim, on what you just mentioned too, which is, so like, that's kind of why I wanted to work on contrast. So we'll work on that next week. For those of you listening, and I'm not going to put this in the universe because Chris Manley, you're going to have an amazing week this week. You're going to not only have a week in full abundance, but you're going to have such deep connection with your family and everybody around you. But anybody who would like to share next week about their contrast, wink, wink, we would love to hear it, because in contrast, in sharing that beautiful contrast, right? Like, that's where the deep, beautiful, unbelievable work is for us as humans, as imperfect, perfect beings, right? Like, let's go through where we're at and what's making us feel kind of icky. And if we go through that all together, right? Pain shared is pain divided. And at that moment, like, how can we see this all happening for us? And as we are shifting astrologically into this next phase, right? Change is inevitable regardless. But now it's going to be coming. And for some, they're not expecting it. For some, it'll be hot and heavy. And many, many will resist it because we're human, because that's what our brain is programmed to do. I want to keep us safe. I want to keep us here. I want to keep us comfortable. I want to keep us right here. We're good now. Like, okay, we did all that work. Wow, we went through a lot. Good work. Let's stay right here. Right? And the higher self, the universe, all the things are like, you're good. You can stay there for a little bit. We have bigger plans. We have bigger plans. We have bigger plans. We have more for you to experience. We have more for you to feel and be abundant with. We have more for your consciousness to feel and turn into something more, where you can benefit others, where you can use your authentic voice and your authentic messaging to change and shift the world. And like we said a month ago, if no one hears it, it's still yours. You still shared your authentic message and your authentic voice. It's not for others to hear, maybe. Maybe it's just for you to share. Knowing that the right people will come and find, and will come and be attracted to, and will come with flow. So be mindful as we move into this new astrological stuff. If you're into the crazy woo-woo stuff, make sure you put where the full moon is not, I forget where the full moon is, but I was going to say, you can put all your gemstones and crystals and rings outside and do the witchy thing. I'm getting there. I'm getting into the witch stuff, but like, embracing what this next version of you has to offer and recognizing when you're resisting. It's easy to find that out because you feel icky. All right, you feel icky. Surrendering to the flow of whatever that means for you. Yeah, beautiful, Tim. Ride the waves of life. You're not the movie, you're the film it plays on. Full moon is on Friday. Oh, thank you. Yes, that's the one.
This is something I only just realized is like, yeah, the lunar eclipses have to happen at the full moon because the Earth has to be in front of it has to be in between, and the solar eclipses have to happen at the new moon, because I only just realized this like a few months ago.
Oh, I was today years old when I just realized that. Thank you, Tim. That's excellent. All right, beautiful. It is 9:30. For those of you who'd like to join us, we'll end with our little meditation. So we'll end with a deep breath in. Oh, wow. Look at it outside. Look at it inside. Look at how far we've come in this life. Look at everything that we have experienced and challenged ourselves with, gone through, and we've come out as this beautiful butterfly on the other side of the cocoon. And here we are flooding around, flying and seeing all the beauty that this life has to offer. We as a human can choose to see the negatives. We can choose to live in that fear. We can choose to live, but we don't do that today. Today, we're making a conscious decision. We embrace the contrast, but we make the decision to live in that full abundance, into that love, into that connection, into the gratitude of all that we have around us, outside of us, and inside of us. We feel today that all the opportunities around us are intentions that we set before today, rockets of desire that were sent up about years or years past that are finally coming into fruition. And knowing that our mind is as powerful manifestations and manifestors as are our higher selves. What we think about is how we feel. What we speak is how we think. And our actions are relegated by our thought patterns. And the beautiful part is we have the ability to train our minds. We have the ability to lead with our heart and have the mind build what our heart sets out on paper in our journals or in intentions sent to the universe. We thank our higher selves and spirit guides for everything that they are putting in front of us today, for all the paths, all the opportunities. And we take this week as another opportunity to look at those limiting beliefs, look at that contrast, and then say, wow, now that I know, I get to choose my new story. Now that I know, I get to live an unlimited consciousness, an unlimited life, led by who I really am, a divine spirit sent by God to experience all there is, to live in an expansive and abundant way. I choose to create. I choose love. I choose connection. And I choose to be in alignment. And this week, with flow and with ease, I move into my world and my life. I move into my relationship. I move into my career and my job and my work. And I share my authentic message with the world. We thank you. We love you. We'll seal with a deep breath in. My friends, my souls, I love you so much. Thank you for joining us here again. Please use the WhatsApp chat for anything you'd like to chat about and share and connect. I'll see you all next week. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat place.
Thank you, Nick.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, everybody. Woohoo!